Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Thursday, March 24th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you are someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. Real quick, before I get to the watch list, I want to personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online class that I'm offering here soon. So if you're liking what you see as I go through the video and you want to learn more about this tool, how it should be used to build consistency as a trader to get better results, then certainly get signed up for the free class. If you're watching this on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box. If you're watching at my site, there's an area right there on the webpage that you can click to get signed up. So again, if you're liking what you see, then certainly get signed up for the free class. First one here, AMC, but before I get to it, a couple quick clarifications. First off, this price over here will still be changing as I go, and the candlestick will still be moving. The market's still open for a little bit of time. I like to do these videos when the market's still open for a tad bit, just because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day action. And then next, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks, as they're called, if you're a beginner, represents 30 minutes worth of time. So as I said, AMC first one here, and the move continues. Even bigger volume today, and this upwards, trend continues. So definitely updates need to be done. Going to go ahead and get rid of that line there as it served its purpose. But the first update comes about based on a foundational rule in charting, which states when levels of resistance are broken and closed above, you want to see them act as support. So moving forward, 1950 going to be that ideal level of support. Ideal meaning, if you're asked, Clay, what would make this chart look the absolute best going forward? Well, then yeah, ideally, if the price can stay above 1950, that would be best case scenario. But from an overarching standpoint, just watch that purple line there, the 50-period moving average. Keyword being moving. So as time goes by, that line is going to move itself higher and higher. So as long as the price remains above that line, as the line itself moves higher and higher, then the overall trend is still perfectly in the bull's favor. As far as areas of resistance, pretty straightforward here. You can see several times today, price got right up there around that $22 mark and can never quite really maintain any sort of momentum. So that'll be that next breakout point. But all in all, another very nice day. Next one, IMPP. And yeah, quite the interesting afternoon here. You can see not a whole lot going on volume-wise. And then all of a sudden, boom, the volume came pouring in and the price has really come to life. So this is one of these situations where it's just worth throwing out the question, hey, is this the start of something even bigger? Now think about what needs to happen for me to even ask that question, right? In order for me to ask that question, is this the start of something bigger? Well, something first needs to happen in the first place. And in lots of stocks, they don't even get that question asked because nothing ever really happens. But in this situation, yeah, a whole lot of stuff happened. Huge volume surge, nice price movement. So like I said, is this the start of something bigger? And that's the idea behind a watch list, right? You want to find interesting circumstances, and then you want to watch them. So in my mind, if you like to play this price range down below the $5 mark and you want an interesting situation to watch and potentially make a move on, then yeah, I definitely say get this one on your watch list for tomorrow. Next one here, good old GME GameStop, and a nice trend and also a nice pattern here. And I say nice pattern because I don't want to come across like this is some sort of great discovery on my part or that I have some sort of special talent. I assure you a lot of people have taken notice of this pattern. And I say that because when a lot of people are watching this at the same level, wondering the same thing, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can produce some very dynamic movements. And that's what we have here. So the first level and first part of this pattern that a bunch of people have done. I assure you a lot of people have drawn that trend line. So while nothing is guaranteed, my point is this. It's more than valid, more than rational to think that if the price can get up there to that trend line and then break up through it, that break could very well create quite a bit of upwards buying pressure. So definitely keep a close eye on that area right there. And then as far as the other part of the pattern, this is going to drive me nuts. So let me just get this nice and even. There we go. And then let me change this to green to represent more so the bullish dynamic of the pattern. And then to keep this all one color, maybe make it easier to see as far as pattern, we have the resistance, we have the support, we have the momentum move right there. Let's put a little golf hole down here. This would be known as a bull pennant pattern. So yeah, GME has a nice little bull pennant. Let's see if the bulls can get the breakout on Thursday. Next one here, MULN. And we have that question once again, is the start of something bigger? But in this situation, unfortunately, well, I guess that depends on if you're long or short, but in the opposite direction. Now, this will mean a bit more to those of you that watch previous videos, but if you have, I've talked about that purple line quite a bit and how that was an important level of support. And, even today, it held up earlier on in the day, held up right there. But now all of a sudden, and as you see, this is why I like to do the videos when the market's still open for a little bit. This last 30 minutes, the price is now broken below that purple line, and you see here is pushing down lower. So the question here is this the start of something bigger to the downside? Is there about to be a lot more bearishness that shows up? Maybe it's not. Maybe this is just a fake breakdown and all of a sudden the price turns itself back around. So I'm not saying that, there are no guarantees, but it is certainly valid and wise to be wondering, okay, Is this the start of a much bigger breakdown, which brings about, you know, whoops, let me change that to make it a little bit easier to see here. This area of support down here at $2.80. So, you know, like I said, if this is the start, then I'd look for this to go down minimum to $2.80. But at that point, maybe gets a nice little bounce off there. But overall, yeah, the key event here that definitely needs to be watched is this breakdown of the 50-period moving average. And let's see if there's more bearishness that shows up. Next one here, SNDL, which I've been tracking pretty closely. And after today's price movement, the uptrend continues. Higher highs, higher lows, and that is the name of the game, which brings about the first key update. Based on that foundational rule, and levels of resistance are broken and closed above, you want to see them act as support. So moving forward now, right around 60 cents, going back to AMC, that's going to be the ideal level, meaning what's going to make this chart look the best if the price can stay above 60 cents. And then from the overarching standpoint, as long as that or the price stays above that 50-period moving average, again, as the line itself moves higher and higher, then the overall trend is perfectly bullish. So just to recap, the ideal level of support at 60 cents, but the overall level of support that matters is going to be that 50-period moving average. In terms of areas of resistance, the level here that I think a lot of people have drawn into play is that trend line right there. And then even from a pattern perspective, resistance, support, momentum move, we have ourselves another little bull pennant pattern here. So if you like to play bull pennants, if you like to play penny stocks, well, then here you go. Next one here, CELZ, and I like this one for one reason and one reason alone. You have a very distinct level. So once again, by no means is me drawing this area right here some sort of great skill. I assure you a bunch of people have noticed that level. So a bunch of people are watching it. So self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want. It's very valid to think that if the price can work its way up to 350 and then get the breakup through it, that could create another surge of momentum. So in my mind, that's the most interesting dynamic. Now, I take that back. Not the most, but it plays a large role because, yeah, of course, other interesting dynamics. You had big volume today, and you had this recovery after a nasty pullback. Now the price is starting to work its way back upwards. So maybe, just maybe, this is, you know, some sort of bottoming formation before another surge of momentum. Of course, not guaranteed, and I realize I keep saying that, but I want to hammer that home. I don't want anybody to think that anything here is guaranteed. But point here being is that 350 mark is very, very intriguing. Next one, CEI. Done this one several times before. And the level here that is most relevant that I've talked about in previous videos, right there at that $2 mark, that area of resistance. Good news is price did show that it had enough strength to, you know, push up through that level. The bad news is the momentum disappeared, and as far as the price staying above that level, well, that didn't quite happen as the price fell back below it. But moving forward, that $2 mark remains that key level. Again, not necessarily to break above, because the price already proved it can break above it. The more important thing is actually staying above it once it's broken. So you're going to want to focus on that attribute of things. And then as far as levels of support, nothing new here to report. You still have this overall green line that I put into play, I don't know, a long time ago, and you can see that the price continues to actually maintain quite a bit of separation from it. So it's not like that level is even, you know, that relevant. So certainly the most relevant area is going to be that $2 mark. And again, not necessarily can the price break above it, but can the price stay above it? Next one, CENN. Did this one yesterday, and overall, great breakout of that area of resistance. So for anybody that played that breakout, very well done, but updates certainly need to be done as the uptrend continues. Going to go ahead and get rid of that level and make that first update, which you now know is when levels of resistance are broken and closed above, you want to see them act as support. So $2.50 is now going to be that ideal level, which you understand what that means. And then from the overarching standpoint, watch that purple line there. As long as the price stays above there, then the overall trend is still fully healthy, fully in the bull's control. In terms of levels of resistance, the main level here that stands out right at $2.95, I suppose you could probably, let's just round it up to the $3 mark, that nice round number. So $3 will be that next key area. But overall, as you can see right here, very, very impressive trend. And as long as the price keeps on putting in those higher lows, that is by far what matters most. Next one, DNA, and I don't know if I've ever even heard of this stock, but regardless, it had a nice move today from a volume standpoint. It's got good price movement, a nice little trend here, and it broke above quite a key level here. You can see that today price had this trend line, and I'm very poor drawing, but you get the idea. Came up here, broke through that trend line, got up to the 200-period moving average, broke that. So moral of the story here, a very strong day. And with that now, the next key area that is very interesting is right up there. What is that? $3.60. If you go back through the history of things, you can see 360 presented some problems back around here. And now the price is certainly well within striking distance. So once again, not guaranteed, but if the price can get up there and push up through it, then more than valid to think that that could create another surge of upside pressure. In terms of levels of support, you have that ideal level of support now right here at, whoops, let's make that green. There we go. You have that ideal level. In fact, let me zoom in here to make it a little bit easier to see. There we go. Ideal level of support at $3.35. And then this situation is a little different because you also have, I mean, yeah, you could just use a purple line too, but you also have that 200 period moving average, which is that pink line, which could also serve as an area of support, which is valued right there around 325. But the point here being is that there's a lot of upside pressure, clearly, good solid volume, and really it's just a question of if the price keeps on putting those higher bases, is that going to be enough to push up through 360? So we'll find out. Next one here, TSLA Tesla, and what another monster move today was. I don't think it was as impressive as yesterday, but yesterday was actually really, really impressive. But it's great. It's fun to see Tesla back trading as it has in the past with great volatility, great movement, and it's what I traded today exclusively. So in many senses, I'm kind of doing this for myself in terms of annotations. So I'm not saying that this is necessarily what you have to do, but these are definitely the levels that I'll be watching. And the first area that I'm very curious about moving forward is that trend line right there from a support side of things, meaning can the price stay above it? Is the price going to be able to maintain this trajectory? And, in my mind, I think a lot of people put that trend line in play, longs and shorts. So, I mean, there's going to be shorts thinking, myself included, if the price breaks down through that level, could that put it down to, maybe the 950 mark, which is, approximately where that 50 period moving average is? To me, that seems very reasonable. But first off, obviously the price has to get down to that level and then push down through it. But that is definitely going to be an area of support that I'm very curious about. And then, yeah, from an overarching standpoint, that 50 period moving average is also an interesting level. In terms of areas of resistance, first key level in the near term going to be right there at 1020. And then after that, nothing fancy at all. Literally just a question of, well, where did the party finally stop today in Tesla? That was essentially up there at 1045. So those would be the two main areas of resistance. But like I said, in my personal opinion, the way I'm viewing this is the most interesting dynamic is that trend line. Can the price maintain above it or can it? We'll see what happens. So that wraps up the top 10. Again, if you like what you saw here, you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency as a trader, then certainly get signed up for the free class. Like I said, it'll be Thursday, March 24th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy these, then please help me out with some basic feedback. Hit the like button, leave a simple comment. Give me the number one. Say hi. Give me an emoji. Tell me what you traded today. Give me a ticker symbol. Anything. But hitting that like button and leaving a comment below communicate to me that you enjoy these videos. And as long as I know people are enjoying, then I will continue to put time and effort into structuring them and analyzing the charts as I do. So again, definitely get signed up for that free class. Hopefully I'll see you on Thursday. Everybody take care. Have a good one.